Hello and welcome to the preview. Randwick should be perfect, should be great. Mark, perfect weather, 25 degrees tomorrow or thereabouts.
It's not bad, is it, Dale?
Yeah, it's sensational, isn't it? We really are looking for a
Sun's
great
coming
summer.
out for you, Dale.
Yeah, I've already the first application of sunscreen. That's
Right.
a good sign.
So we'll call it spring, hey?
Lovely. 6 metre rail, Mark. This should play pretty much fair. You'd imagine most horses will end up in the lane, which is 2 metres off the inside. They'll just gravitate there. I reckon 90% of horses get into the fast lane, so we'll see a fair track.
Ish.
Yeah, fair-ish.
I'm a little bit more pessimistic than you.
Okay, fair enough. Fence won't be the place to be.
No, but the horses will suck up. It's a position that's played a little dirtier of late than it traditionally has.
I would say the position you don't want is box seat because that normally pushes you into the inside.
Yeah, I guess. Look, I'm forecasting it on Pace's track.
Yeah. Oh well, I think also from the point of view, I think a point to make early is that there's a lot of races that lack speed. So I think that there's going to be, if you wanted to play the back and lay game, leaders later in the day, I think they'll probably dominate because early on because it just doesn't look to be a lack of whatever. So then there'll be that gravitation. Oh, this is the leaders track.
The small fields don't help, do they?
Sorry?
I said the small fields do not help.
Speaking of small fields, like, since when could we rustle up so few 3-year-olds to run in these races?
What have we got? 14.
And since when did the Show County become a mini race?
Yeah, exactly. The Show County was always 157 horses, isn't it? Anyway, Race in New South Wales.
Like, the biggest field of the day is the Warwick Stakes.
The Warwick Stakes, exactly.
The race you would tip to have the smallest field.
Quite probably. Yeah. Anyway, well, obviously there's some massive issues in racing, including a good friend of ours, having a $200 bet on a horse. So we'll cover those.
That's the worst thing you can do, Dale.
Yeah,
have a bet.
We will be talking about that in the Punter show anyway. Weather fine, track good. They have put a little bit of water on it. Speaking to Navesh coming here today, he expects the track to be a similar level to what it was 2 weeks ago, which were fast times, but the fast times were wind assisted. So it was about a good 3 that day, I'd say, surface-wise.
Yeah. It's interesting that they've started to water these. They've got into watering these tracks. Hawkesbury was watered yesterday, and I think that in the early days of watering, it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, okay.
But it's when the irrigation starts to build up
that
the irrigation is a bit more meaningful.
All right, lovely, perfect. Before we get into the first big promo, we really want to start having a look at Pro Better Live. John Walter, who you can catch up with John. I caught up with John during the week. Sharp, very, very sharp professional punter, form student, whatever you want to call it. He's involved with Pro Better Live, started enormously last week. He does Sydney, Darren does Melbourne. We all then combine with information from the betting ring, from the mounting yard, Mark's early, most likely firmers, both from Sydney and Melbourne. Warren sends through his key runners. It is a really, really, really good way and a good experience. As John said, he was on it for the first time and he said he got so much out of it, it was complete. It gives you so much knowledge about what is going on if you're playing from home. It's like being at the track and knowing exactly what is happening with everything that is happening. So this week we want you to try it out. It's normally worth $99, which is still way under. You get the 2 sets, you get John's set, you get Darren's set, the updated staking plan throughout the afternoon. Any product on the Punters show that is of $20 value or more, that is any product that is $20 or more, you will get free access to Pro Better Live tomorrow, which will get you the sets, which will get you the chat room. And the chat room isn't complicated. You just log on, it just comes through and scrolls down throughout the afternoon. That is any product worth $20 or more. It could be Marks, it could be Fletcher's, it could be Mounting Yard Mail, it could be Race Speed Profiles, whatever it is, you get access to Race Speed Profiles, to the Pro Better Live.
And it is the most sophisticated product that has appeared.
It really is complete. It's a distillation of everything we do, and it enables us to adjust our position. It enables us to take into consideration that Team Hawks might not be on or off or whatever. All of that stuff that you only know in the last 5 to 10 minutes before betting or whatever before the race is run. So give it a try. Sign up for a product, see what it is, and you can communicate throughout if you want to ask any questions of me, John, Darren, Mark, even who you in Sydney, Norton?
I'm in Moonee Valley.
You're at Moonee Valley, so not Mark.
Yeah.
Glenn, whoever you want. It's somebody on course at Randwick.
But they can find me at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, that's right. So anything you want, you can communicate to and from. It's a two-way chat. So try it out. $20 product or more. Free access to Pro Better Live. Have a look. we're sure you won't be disappointed with it. Anyway, race 1, up and coming stakes. And when was the up and coming stakes ever race 1? $2.70 Sebring Stun, Voliere $6.50, Shards $5, and Kenny Essence $6.50.
Well, that's that hot combination of Gabby Engelbrett and Kathy O'Hara.
Go, Cab. I hope she does well, but $6.50 is seems short odds for that. Anyway, Mark, who does what?
I had Shards leading here, but it's stablemate Inner Circle with blinkers on may have other ideas. Voliere obviously posies up, and the next position is between Tatouche and Sebring Sun.
Yeah, not overly keen. All right, Sebring Sun 3 in a row. Gary Portelli.
Well, everything went right the other day.
Yeah.
It's not a horse you're climbing onto back.
No, and everything was right with it in the yard, Aaron. It couldn't have been fitter. It was right at its peak, really, wasn't it? Maybe that much improvement.
Oh, he looked perfect first up. He looked perfect first up. He looked perfect again.
Yeah.
He looked like he's probably got one more run in him before he goes over the top. Or he's flattened out. Like there's no more. There's nothing. I don't think he's got anything there to improve on.
Yeah, well, it just didn't really occur to me that it could be very short. I mean, I think we're looking at 3-1, really.
Yep, beautiful. All right, lovely. So, okay, so from that same form line is Voliere. Does the gap close? Does the gap close tomorrow?
Well, a little. I mean, but look, both of them had perfect runs.
Yep.
Like Voliere was in the 1-out 1 back position, and Sebring Sun was on his back. They both had a sympathetic track to work with. So, look, I suppose they're tied to each other, and where one goes, the other goes. They're not far apart, but I thought the interest would perhaps be in the resumer Shards, who did really good things in 3 runs. So he's resuming his second preparation against Jay McDonald, and he's got different form. He's got form against a good horse.
I had a feeling he'd be a blower on the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just knowing how these horses are parading with these blue colours.
Blower from what price is he early?
$5. Yeah, his second pick.
Oh yeah, he's around $5. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get out a little bit. I think he's the best horse in the race, in my opinion, and I think moving forward, he's probably a horse that they're looking for a golden rose. I'm assuming that'd be its target.
But I'm just not a fan of the joint at all.
No.
But they are a sort of a stallion-making, breeding enterprise, you know, and I see this type of horse as being a project horse.
Okay, yep, fair enough. But if it makes it a project horse, does that mean that it is going to be typical O'Shea, will be easy on it early and get it right, which he normally doesn't?
Depends what its project is, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It does, but I mean, obviously, I think that if they're highly considered, then they get good treatment.
Well,
right?
and if they're not considered like careless, they get put out in the back paddock and don't even just turn up to
right.
race.
And we saw Havana Cooley, it looked outstanding.
Magic Hurricane was prepped up. Careless hadn't seen it racetrack in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, Careless is going nowhere. It's offering them nothing.
Exactly right. Anyway, so you're talking Shards. What are you saying, Shards? Because I think you had an opinion of it first, Aaron, didn't you?
Yeah, I thought he's a nice horse. I think he's got the Form 2 press statement, and I think he's one that's really going to improve as a 3-year-old. He was the one that always looked like he would be the better 3-year-old. He's lightly raced as a 2-year-old.
I agree.
The trial gave me the feeling that he's going to want one run.
Yep.
And then be on the next side.
And I think especially combined with what we've been seeing with the Blue Jackets in the yard, generally soft.
Yeah, except I wouldn't, like we just said, with those project horses, a few of them have had a little bit more TLC than the rest of them.
No, fair enough.
The horse that interested me firstly when I looked at this race was the horse that I felt was out of play in the race a fortnight back, which was Tatouche.
Yeah, okay. So you're bringing him back in.
Well, he Drew Barry won the other day. He was given no opportunity.
Yeah, it was. I suppose out of all the runs, he was equal to the two obvious ones, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah. So you've marked him.
Well, except look, unfortunately, D Beasley is on another number of horses tomorrow, which is not
perplexing you.
Well, it's just I'd prefer elsewhere.
Yep. Okay. All right. Anyway, Voliere, we mentioned this a few times. Aaron paraded massive first up, made a fair bit of improvement second up. He's got a lot of fitness improvement. I think he's got enough there to be closing the gap between him and Sebring.
Out of him and 1 and 2, I think he's the one that's got to.
I think they should be almost equal odds.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely combo.
Beautiful.
I think stepping up to 1300 is going to be more his go than Sebring Sun.
Yeah, fair call.
In my opinion.
Fair call. Anyway, well, I'm probably those two, but not with any super duper confidence.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the push for Julio, and I think that's legitimate.
Yeah,
we need to talk about the Spruik horse,
which one's the Spruik horse?
the Goulburn winner.
Oh, Kenny Emerson. It won off a slow pace and did little doing so on our numbers, which, I mean, that's forgivable for a horse first start, but I can't have it.
Yeah. Look, it visually impressive and ran good times for there, but good times for there is not good enough here.
Yeah, lovely. Aaron?
He looks to be a talented horse. I thought it was a silly move coming to here, but he does look a talented horse. My only little query on him is he's bred to be a complete wet tracker, and all of his good runs, like his 2 good trials and his wheeling wrong.
On wet track. Okay.
And he's going to hit a good track, so it'll be interesting to see if he sprints the same on a good track.
Beautiful. All right, that's right.
The two, I'm quite interested in a circle though. It's the horse that I'm really keen on.
Okay.
I think he'll improve out of sight. The blinkers will sharpen him right up, and I think he's a big chance. And I thought one at odds, man of choice. He will be a. He didn't have a lot go his way.
Spruik for everything. So okay, narrowing it down.
Can we leave anything out there?
Yes, we can.
No, I'm
Let's
getting
move.
rid of Sebring Sun.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'm thinking the bottom one silly price, and I'm against Shards as well. So yeah, I'm bagging 3.
Right, so Aaron's having a good lash at this race tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm probably 1 and 2, but not overly keen. Mark, are you playing or you?
I'm in the tattoo Shards category. So
okay. There you go.
Like we've struck a diversity of opinion.
Well, there is a diversity of opinion, but none of us are super confident. Is that fair call?
No, I'm not confident.
No. Fair enough. Cool. Moving along then. Mark, your $20 service started off very, very well. We're a week into it or thereabouts, and away we go.
It's a lot of tips for $20 a week. I keep looking at it going, you bastards. Like,
yeah. You remember you did give them away for free here though. Previously.
True enough, but just for one meeting.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Well, maybe if we had less meetings, it'd be less tips. Anyway, so you're getting that, and you can also get your full service as well too.
Exactly. It's a juicy business. This form study. So tomorrow we've got Randwick and Kembla backing up for Tuesday at Gosford, and I think Sunday week at Wyong.
There you go, beautiful.
So plenty on offer there. I'll try and update my results. I think they're updated to the end of July, which is relatively current for me. But
it's current enough. Yes, exactly. You'll get it. You can have a look at it and get a feel for it anyway. I think anyway. Yeah. I'm sure over the last 20 years I'll be able to work it out, mate. So anyway, but $20 service. If you sign up this week, we'll give you Mark's full set as well too. Just a little bonus as a sign-on thing as well too. So jump on board. $20. Away we go.
And some steak knives.
Yeah, exactly right. But it's great way to do things, and away you go. As we said, you get the tips A from B, C and D for every race, for every metropolitan provincial meeting in New South Wales. Race 2, Toy Show Quality over 1,300 metres, and 2 Blue Anarchists about the $5 mark. Christy Lee, $7. Wine Tails also about the $5 mark, and the favourite is the dominant winner last start, Echo Gal, $3.30. Echo Gal, Il Mio Destino, and our other old mate, who is... Two Blue. Look to take it up.
Yeah, it's sort of, we get the situation where Echo Gal has got a pest drawn outside and a horse that a desperate leader underneath her. So she doesn't get control. But I mean, I think she still gets a relatively sympathetic scenario.
She probably gets a good spot, doesn't she?
Yeah. She gets the, she's coming off a dominant effort on the same track, same track conditions.
Yes. Similar race shape.
She gets to go up in distance.
Yes.
Which is always critical for Gay. Even if it's bloody 10 metres, it's like meaningful.
Yep.
Unlike the bloody offer, it was going back in distance anyway. Enough of that. So look, I saw this as a 2-horse race. The 2 horses that ran around that prepped a fortnight ago, Wine Tails and Echo Gal.
Yeah. Well, one raced the other day and one didn't.
Yeah. I did look. Obviously Wine Tails is going to go back from his wide draw, from his high draw.
Yeah.
So he won't be in the same race as Echo Gal again, but obviously gets Jay McDonald and a pleasing, cleaning pipe opener under her belt. So, whereas I was against her stablemate, the Resumer, who was scratched from last week to be reserved for this week, and certainly against Maastricht. So as I say, I can't get rid of 2 Blue in the market, but I sense that she's she's a placeholder because she's clearly a
Does
very
her best.
honest, durable
She does her
wet
best.
tracker.
Yeah, that's right. It brings wet track form, but she does her best, and she's got Blake Shin. So, yeah, hard to really.
What do you want to do, Aaron? You're usually a first.
Well, I opposed Echo Gal the other day. I didn't realise it was going to be a one goer.
Oh, how is the race ever going to be running any different? Who was going to take it on?
Ilmea Destino
Well, the only thing is that-
and she sat off her and let her
Yeah.
go. Regardless, she won well.
Yeah.
But I don't think she gets the same setup here. She's going to have horses that either can lead her or are going to pester her. She has to go do that stepping up in trip, which I'm yet to really see if she can or can't.
Yeah,
do
her
it.
best might be 1100 metres.
And I think her best is when she's leading. Like she's a horse that just gets her. Like we saw her sprang the lids went, and then she just sprints and goes
Yeah,
and
she
runs
sat
away.
today. That's her best performance ever.
Yeah,
in Kiro.
yeah, that's right.
She sat that
So
day.
yeah, exactly, and went well. No, exactly.
But like for me, she's only ever won when leading. I think. So.
But she's done her best. She's done her
Yeah,
best.
so
when
she's done
it's-
her
Anyway, Aaron, you're unhappy about the circumstances of the race at Ford Mud back. I understand that.
But I think so. I don't think she gets that same setup.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
She's not going
so
to
she
get
had
the same setup.
So I think it's different. And I think Winetails is obviously going to be in the race. It's going to have had the run under its belt. As you saw, it looked well without looking
No, exactly.
forward.
And the
And
wouldn't have mattered how it looked. The market told
the
you where it
market
was
said-
where it was going.
And it's Rory off, James
That
on.
it's a big
and
play.
Waller, one thing with Waller, and Gay seems to be the same. They only seem to put James on when they really give their horse a good chance.
Yeah.
He doesn't just seem to ride any sort of
Yeah.
Well,
swinger
they've got
for
that,
him.
but how do you get James onto your horse? You say,
Well, I've got
this
something.
horse is flying.
Yeah.
Or this horse is perfect tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, perfect on Saturday.
And
So
it seems to be half a tip in itself.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think with this track, I'm hoping you're more so right that it is relatively fair. And she can run on, and I think she could be close to a good thing.
Yeah, look, I think the gap closes, but I think still that you're going to have one in here and one back there as well too.
yeah. They're going to be in different races.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And she's
you know,
got to do something.
but-
And her best is still a long way off. Is still a long way off Echo Gal's best. You know, like she's still got to achieve.
It's a fascinating contest.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's a racing too, and then Christy Lee will be just Christy Leeing around, and she'll probably run
She's
third.
racing well.
Racing
She's
great.
racing well.
So are we opposing Amicus? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I don't like
Well,
Amicus.
I'm looking to you to favour Amicus. You like?
Yeah, I'll give it a
Amicus?
big chance. I think she's going to sit in a beautiful spot and we'll be running on. And 2 Blue, I give it a good chance. I think.
Oh, it's there. It's there. But it's, yeah.
But I want to argue that she's on top of the ground. She's not.
That's got to be a big word. No
Well,
question.
Anyway, Mark and I too, the Echo Gal. Who do you have a preference or?
Yeah, Echo Gal's
Echo
my
Gal on
preference.
on race shape and putting it in.
You know, obviously my reserve is Winetails. It's like
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, and the market's allowing you to play back one, save the other for sure.
yeah.
I think this will be very interesting to see another Hawks runner, how it goes for the Hawks stable, to see if there's any improvement in the stable.
To the
'Cause
team,
it was a bit of a highly spruiked young horse.
Maastricht, yeah, but I wouldn't expect it to be.
Well, it was going to
it's-
cure cancer, Dal. I remember being at Flemington
Yeah,
12,
that's
12
right,
months
yeah.
ago, and it was off the back of, I noticed, was it Bendigo and Swan Hill or something? And yes, it's promptly disappeared after that, and Bendigo and Echuca. Yeah. Anyway,
It's had two good jump outs, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
All right, beautiful. Moving along. Well, that's that race. Race speed profiles. Race speed profiles, absolutely flying. Come back. You need to have race speed profiles. You get race speed profiles, you can go into Pro Better Live and also get all the mounting yard stuff throughout the afternoon, which always works well. Huge days the last couple of weeks in Sydney, especially combining it with the mounting yard information. And then Melbourne last week, I think it was just about every winner. That's all. So, yeah. We're on fire. Sydney looks strong again, and Melbourne will be no doubt that because it normally is. But yeah, Race Speed Profiles is back. He's due for. He will have a huge spring, and we are mega confident.
just like you said, for the last 2 weeks you said we'll get it right, and you have got it right.
Yeah.
You pricks.
Yeah, exactly. We'll continue to do so too. No, so definitely on song, and yeah, everything looks in order for tomorrow.
Notice that it has coincided with Dallas parading well.
Yeah. Oh no. It's
Race Speed Profiles is parading well at the moment.
Yeah, very well at the moment. Yeah, I'm parading very well at the moment. Anyway, race 3, the tab rewards. Race speed profiles, get it while it's hot, and I am parading well. If I start parading badly, that's when the editorials start coming over. You start seeing things on the site like, probably get off race speed profiles.
Anyway, look, I think you found your niche. You like this is suiting you well as well. You're parading well, and the
New site,
writing content, and
absolutely,
and yeah, just like doing what you do.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good. That's good. Very well. 1,000 metres, race 3 is Fell Swoop is about the 6 to 4 favourite. Music Magnate $4 or thereabouts. Wonderbolt $7.50, and that's about the market. And Old Mates for Turbo $10. Lucky Meteor $8. Ross's Grand Condor $14 thereabouts. All right, Mark. Pace here. We probably won't see Sweet Serendipity do what it did last start, but
anything would struggle to do that again, wouldn't it?
Yes. But blinkers off would hopefully see that not happen again.
Yes. Look, it is a fast. It's a greyhound, Sweet Serendipity, so I'd expect it to head across. I mean, it's also a control freak, so there's no good trying to he's going to sit on it.
No, he's going to go, but you're not.
You're going to go
off the way she did.
Yeah, you'd imagine it's not going to go and then keep going and keep going and keep going like it did last time. Anyway,
look, Sweet Serendipity, Straturbo will obviously posse up again. Lucky Meteor is a horse I'm unfamiliar with, but can be expected to be positive first up. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
And I imagine that the next position is Fell Swoop.
Yeah.
Right. So this is an interesting clash, and
Grand Condor not there.
and he's an old, not really fast enough horse. I would have thought.
All right. Yep.
But this is a classic. How will the track play clash? You've got Fell Swoop that should be in a better position than Music Magnate. But on a feral Randwick track, you'd be very wary of Fell Swoop.
Yep.
So if it's a track that's sympathetic to where Fell Swoop's going to be, then obviously that's going to this horse can be heavily backed.
Yeah. Yep.
And if it's not, then obviously the Music Magnate fans will come into play.
If B Shin's on song though, that becomes beautiful. But we'll find out how B Shin is going after the first couple of races, obviously. But
See, I mean, from the face of it, Fell Swoop will be in the Boss Lane position.
Yep.
And he is coming back in distance from 1100, but he's had 3 weeks off, and he's got Bishin, and he does appear to be a competent 1,000 metre horse. Whereas I suggest that Music Magnate, a winner at 1,000 metres in his maiden, is more of a 1,200 metre type.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think Fell Swoop's more of a genuine 1,000 metre horse that can stretch.
Yep. I think Music Magnate is definitely going to be better 1,200 metres.
The fact that he's just had the one trial though, he is fresh. 1,000 metres probably will be fine without being.
Which
too
it's funny. It's 1,000 metre land is just drives you.
Especially at Randwick. There's just no rhyme or reason to it either.
Well, you see the situations where horses are either in the race or they aren't in the race.
That's exactly right. And I know Matt uses the stat that there's a high percentage of horses first, second, third, or fourth, and then you see a race like Darcy would when they compact and then.
Can I ask a question? Does that stat include 2-year-olds over 1,000? Because I think that stat would skew
across with 2-year-olds because there'd be a lot more 2-year-old races at Randwick.
Very good point.
Yeah, there's a lot more 2-year-olds at Randwick because we've only really seen this Randwick 1,000 metre-a-thon in the last.
And a lot of them do tend to be.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Good point, Aaron. Good point. Yeah, but what I feel about the Randwick 1,000 metres is there is no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes the race
just depends on how it falls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you see
get
the
that
other
separation, or you get that bunching, and just I think a lot of it. What happens with the horses, 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th, and whether they're there or whether they go like that.
Yeah, whether they're taking the field up to them or not.
Yeah, and work that out. I don't know how you work that out, especially breaking everything down into sections and sections. It just happens. Anyway, so go.
Well. So whilst I'm interested in Music Magnate, I feel that Fell Swoop is the target horse of the race. Grand Condor, I'm expecting to run well. I liked him in the race a short while ago.
Yep, absolutely.
And Wonderbolt is not much of it; it's nothing.
No.
Right, but it's got James, and it does appear to be a better dry tracker.
Yeah, fickle. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, I've got no opinion of the horse, but I mean, I think like 1,000 metres He's a 1,000 metre horse when the race falls right.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, exactly. When the race falls right. Okay, what are you saying?
I just think it's a cut and dry 2-horse race.
Fell Swoop
and I
and-
had Wonder Bolt a very, very distant third pick.
Yeah, and so Fell Swoop and who? Music Magnet?
Yeah, well, Music Magnet and Fell Swoop.
Okay, and so you Music Magnet on top to a couple of thousand?
Just mainly because of the price as well. I'm probably leaning towards Music Magnet. I think he's the better horse. I think he's the best horse in this race by a long way.
Agree.
But Fell Swoop's probably better suited at the 1,000.
Agree.
So that's...
Yeah, because it's an
Fell
unfair
Swoop's-
land.
Yeah,
1,000
it's-
metres.
yeah,
It's like-
exactly right.
I think by the end of this prep, like he's going to be a group sprinter.
Yeah. Well, Fell Swoop's probably not going to be...
And Fell Swoop's going to be not far off him
No,
somewhere.
yeah.
Where the rest of these are Wednesday horses.
Yeah. But in saying that too, those Straturbo should put it... Straturbo's my third pick because he should just be right there again,
And could do
up
it
and
exactly
running,
what he
and
did,
just flops into it and doesn't normally win. But I'm Fell Swoop.
And I'm leaning towards Music Magnet, half due to price, and I always seem to lean towards the horse with more ability.
Okay, well, I'm Fell Swoop best of the day.
Beautiful. Well, there it is. All right, race 4. Before we do that, Mounting Yard Mail, obviously, we've been mentioning a lot of things. Mounting Yard Mail, this is the time of year that the boys always succeed, always fly. Warren in Melbourne, Glenn in Sydney. I heard Warren on the radio talking about jump outs there. So you got with Warren, obviously, you get the benefit of him being at Flemington Track Work weekend, day in, day out, and all the jump outs and all seeing them progress, which obviously Flemington do provide their fair share of winners and information, but it's just the jump outs as well too. They're not Flemington only horses as well. So Warren is right across it, and he's always been Mr. Consistency for a long time, Mark. And Glenn, this is the time of year, as we always say, Glenn flies back to Randwick, happy days, away we go. Mounting Yard Mail, 33 for the single, 55 for the pair, and if you sign up for Mounting Yard Mail, you do get access to the Pro Better Live site as well, like everything, so jump on board. Coolmore, Silver Shadow Stakes over 1,200 metres, Speak Fondly 480, Lake Geneva 320, Kimberley Star 370, and the rest of them around about 5-6 to 1 mark or thereabouts. Who does what here? Is it Kangarella Joy?
Speak Fondly leads from Kangarella Joy, and Lake Geneva tracks them.
Yep.
You know, I'd have to have Kimberley Star astern of those coming back to 1,200 on the drive.
Yep. All right, lovely.
What do you want to do, Aaron?
I have a feeling Kangaroo Joy might try and take a little bit more of a sit. Whether if there's going to be a horse in front of her to do it.
Yeah, well, there's no real keen beans, as Mark would say.
Well, it's got blinkers on, Speak Fondly, and, wasn't it?
I think Speak
wasn't
Fondly's
it
a-
cranked up?
Oh, it's the best, the best fruit, yeah. Best fruit, right? Nick Ashwin, Gay Waterhouse, Mark Newnham, the post office man, the paddle pop man across, that holds the sign for Gay's horses to cross the road. Everyone's spruiking it.
I think they all kind of sat there though when her and English trolled against each other, and they all kind of sat there going, so waiting, and I could see everyone, even someone sat next to me and goes, "You Speak Fondly's going good."
Yeah.
And I've backed her for this, that, and the other, and he's looking. And he went, shit, English went well.
Yeah, it's a little bit different when you get into game day and you look at it in the cold, hard reality of what they've done and what Speak Fondly's done.
Well, she ran
is
in.
Only just.
She ran in like she did. She ran very bravely in 2 legless slipper trials.
Yes.
The Always Allison race at Warwick Farm, and the race that she won at Rose Hill. Was it Magic Night? Was that the one she won?
Yep.
Just terrible.
Yep.
Which was almost half blessed to win that.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, I think she earned it because she actually sat outside lead.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
She put herself there, but
she earned it. She earned
But I mean,
it. And then she was the Damien Oliver booking in the Golden Slipper for.
For Vancouver.
Yeah.
So look, but she's a professional.
Yeah. Yep.
And she'll be close to it.
And the interesting play is no trial blinkers on. That's a big play.
Huge play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what do we say about a horse that I didn't even consider, Kimberley Star?
I've liked it this last couple. I know Aaron didn't think it could go the start before, but I think that was just up and running.
She just had that run.
How many
is she in this race?
I don't think so. No, but I thought she. How many times did we say over that?
This is the run.
Yeah, like the up and running.
She's coming back in distance. This time.
The up and running winter wet track ability. How that won every race over the winter. She had that every time, so she doesn't. That doesn't help you here.
She meets the fillies with a bit of ability and a little bit of substance, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can often say that they're. Remember Guelph?
Yeah, that's right. Oh, the
Remember
Superstar.
Guelph?
Yeah, that's right. It was the Superstar.
So, you know, we can get a bit carried away.
Yeah, we can. I mean, you know, we don't. But I suppose, okay, so Kimberley Star we've said bye-bye to.
Well, they current price anyway.
$3.70. I'm sure. Yeah,
I'll be very surprised if she doesn't start over $6.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay, well, the Guelph is Lake Geneva.
Yeah, Lake Geneva. So I'm surprised to see her so long. But is that because it was a tinny win first up and the stable? No one wants to back the stable.
Well, I think maybe the stable, yeah, but the win first up. I mean, that was a half a trial, wasn't it?
For all of the reports I've got from people I respect, said she couldn't have been fatter for the start.
Is that right? Okay.
She was as fat as a pig and woolly.
No, because I've got to think about the improvement, especially with a joint. Especially with a joint that isn't going.
Yeah. Although, you know, the horses we've spoken of, week in, week out, have been males.
Okay, yep.
And she's definitely a
Project horse, yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to be interested to see what she looks like, because remember, she looked like, there was bits of her that looked like a really good horse, and there was bits of her that looked like she needed to grow. So we always thought that she was...
She was always, even from those early 2-year-old trials, you saw her and you just went, wow, you're going to be a nice
You're a nice horse in parts, but you're not
complete.
complete.
Run.
No, can I make that point about her preparations? Like, first run, she was 3 wide, hot speed, did what very few horses did all carnival at Rosehill.
Yeah.
Then, 28 days later, you will go to Melbourne and put you in the Blue Diamond. And then, we might as well come back and put you in the slipper. At no stage was she prepped up to run well anywhere.
She's in the wrong lane in the slipper.
Yeah, exactly. And she's done very well. She's overachieved from what she's been asked to do. That was all in her first prep. And she comes out at Hawkesbury. You say she's big. She hasn't done much, but she finished off well.
She put them away and did it easy.
Yeah, we've got her coming home 4.5 above average.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
It looked a bit hollow, but the fact was that she won. So you give her the benefit.
But I mean, do you say if that's a barrier trial, do you say that's hollow? And that's all it was.
You wouldn't care about it.
No, exactly right.
She got paid for it, knocked off the maiden whilst doing it.
That's exactly. What I'm saying is that that's probably giving her a tick over Speak Fondly and Fireworks, because she's had the run, even though it's only half a run.
Yeah, look, as reluctant as I am about that team, I sort of have to.
You have to, don't you?
Well, I've marked it 11 to 8.
Have you? Yeah, I think that's where I am too.
The horse that interests me is Kangaroo Joy, because it looked flat as a biscuit at Warwick Farm, but I suggest that the support for her in that race, she's got a fair bit of scope. Or she's better than that.
Was she flat because of fitness, and how did she look in the yard, Aaron?
Oh, she wasn't overly fat, but she obviously had a lot of condition. She wasn't riding her coat entirely. She won, and she's definitely, in my opinion, she's 150 times better chaser. And that's why I said just the small fields probably not going to allow her to go back any further than just off the lead. But she is a horse that I know the stable think she's going to be a better chaser. Huey got off and said she'll be a better chaser, and the horse come outside of her, and because she's a gutsy horse, fought it off.
Anyway, well, our numbers suggest that flatness was fitness.
I've got her on top here.
Oh, have you got it on top? Okay. Yeah. All right. I've got it.
So you were just about to advise the rider. Where do you want to see it? What configuration satisfies you?
I'd like to see Speak Fondly. Probably she's going to go straight to the front, and she's probably just going to jump in and sit in behind her.
But you know, there's every chance that Lake Geneva goes outside Speak Fondly, and Kangaroo Joy gets the opportunity to sit.
Then she can sit off that. Yes.
Well, that would be beautiful.
That would be beautiful. Whether it happens, I don't know.
Yeah,
it should. But these small fields, I hate trying to think what they're going to do in a small field.
Anyway, fireworks, good.
Well, fireworks is last shot here, like second preparation. Assuming in second preparation,
very good point. Yeah,
gun on. I think limited, but dangerous.
Especially.
I've gone the opposite way. I think she's a project horse for some reason, and just often trials give me the indication that she might be.
Project horse is the fucking word of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think we've got to try and find out which ones they are.
Yeah.
Because whether they're going to be ready.
The thing I'll say is, if they do go slowly in this or whatever, she has got a pretty good last 400 metres, so she's slightly close, a couple of lengths off, and she can be highly dangerous.
Yeah. And what are we saying about Italy? things over bets
I'm
for
not
the
saying,
rest.
I'm not saying anything about Italy. Why do you need to talk about Italy, Aaron?
Yeah.
Tell us.
I'll give her a chance. I got a run first up with school. There was.
Well, we're not going to. I know there's only 70 odd runners at Sydney. We don't need to talk about every single one of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a small.
Okay.
He's trying to earn his money.
All right. Okay. Well, I think
I'll give it a
we
chance.
both we've all narrowed it down to Lake Geneva and Kangaroo Lady. Well, what?
Kangaroo Joy.
Kangaroo Joy. I've called this horse Kangaroo Star, Kangaroo Lady, Kangaroo something else, and it's just
It won't stick.
Kangaroo Street. Even I wrote it. If you see my notes about race week profiles, I wrote this name 4 different ways.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway, there it is.
Won't stick.
Anyway, Kangaroo.
That's race 4.
That's race 4.
race 4,
Thank you. Part 2 of the previous show. 4 races to go. Plenty happening. Aaron, generally across the board, our services, the one to follow ones, which are the $10, $20 ones, have just been absolutely nailing it of late.
Yes.
There they are. Little.
Everyone. Maddie's been kicking along well
With the Melbourne Insider, yep, your stuff's flying.
My stuff's, going
I
good.
think most of them have been operating the last few weeks 100 to 200% profit on turnover, which isn't too bad.
Yes, and I think when our little ones kick along, the Super 6 is always flying. with
Yeah,
that as well. So.
that's right, exactly. So, yeah, look, I mean, but we do get accused of spruiking a lot of things, but a lot of, just all of them are in profit. So, you know, there's lots of products
The turn
there.
to the dry tracks has been a big help. On
Yeah,
that.
exactly right, and change of season, all that business. But I mean, we do spruik a lot of products, but they all are winning, and if they don't win, they cease to exist. So, whatever way you want to handle it, whether it's just through the little budget services, the $10 ones or the $20 ones, you're still getting a profitable service. So it's an easy way of doing it if you don't want to get it as in depth with the other ones. So have a look there. Just click on the product shop link on the Punters show, and you can go through to the page and click on them and choose whatever you like. Very easy. Race 5 is nothing really, 1400 metres. It's forget $6.
Fastest race of the day, that's what it is, Dale.
Fastest race of the day,
You know,
yeah.
like, relatively speaking, obviously the 1,000 metre horses are faster. But it's a race
in comparison to Park. Yep. Okay. So forget a Bold Circle, equal favourites. Marseille Roulette, Himalaya Dream just outside of them with Spider Coda. Yeah, Harry Hotspot. So plenty happening. Market. So who's the fastest one? 2 leads.
Well, Harry Hotspur is always a desperate leader, although he's drawn to gate 1, which you know, he can be a hand-up sort of situation. Marseille Roulette, you know, is a grinder. He sort of whacked away there on that good tempo set by ins
What
and
about
outs.
the blinkers off? Is that going to affect him going forward at all?
The tongue tie can have the blinker effect. It's something that I'm not too sure about, but like Gay tells me, for example, that if she's looking for a blinker effect, she can use tongue tie. Okay.
Okay.
Bring a Ring shouldn't really get near them tomorrow.
You'd hope
And
not.
Kirtley's been desperate of late as well. But I would think that Harry Hotspur holds out Marseille Roulette. El Sasso gets a trail, Himalaya Dream gets a trail, and then we've got the off paces, Bold Circle, Guy Forget back on the inside, Spider Coda mid-back, Tableau and Sassenkeil out the back.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, let's first talk about Himalaya Dream. Paraded in hindsight averagely. First up. Was hated on the fair, found a race shape which you didn't want to face first up, especially with those issues.
Yep.
And got busted up. Are we forgiving it, or are we just? Does it depend on what maybe Lake Geneva does to see whether the team is back?
It'd be good to see the team go. I'm forgiving it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying over the top or anything, but I'm forgiving it.
Yeah.
And I think the Winkers going on's got to be a little push as well. It's a positive push
All right.
from the camp and stepping up. We all had the question: was 1200 not going to be like suit it? We knew it wasn't going to suit it. Was it going to be able to manage? It didn't manage.
It wouldn't matter if it was 1 metre or 1 million metres.
Yeah,
it wasn't with
horrendous.
us, as we know, as the stable wasn't.
Yeah. So the question is, does that mean that he can be with us tomorrow?
That's the thing, and the fact that he was beaten so badly is probably better than he was beaten. He ran 4.
Maybe better, yeah. Look, I straight batted him and marked him 5-1.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, and sort of.
Well, it's an interesting race, isn't it? I mean, Guy Forget gets the right distance with the right rider, but he's a bit too deep into his preparation on a firm surface.
Yeah. I don't mind him on a firm surface. I think he handles the work. Hey, forget. Guy Forget, he was a tennis player.
Fair enough.
Probably very good mates with Stephen Fletcher, whose products you can buy as well too. Yeah. He would have
Anyway,
been,
look-
he would have been part of that whole racket.
You know, forget his racing as well as he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets
Yeah.
gets the prominent rider.
Yep. Who pulled many
And
tricks on him.
gets the race run to suit.
Yep.
So I certainly didn't think he would be despised.
Back to 1400, I think.
1400 is massive. He races 3 lengths better.
I
at
imagine that
1400.
Spider Dakota will be well fancied, resuming at 1400 with
Anthony Cummings, what are we saying there? Does he still train horses?
He trained some shitbags to win on debut yesterday.
Yeah.
He just hasn't.
I think he's about to have a little run.
He's
from
just
the trials.
He's just
okay.
always
Good.
dangerous, Dale.
Oh, look,
He's not a mainstream trainer.
Oh no, I've got no problem with Anthony Cummings because his horses present very, very well normally. It's just that they're normally placed.
Sometimes over the top.
Yeah, but they just often place poorly. But he just hasn't participated. Sorry, keep going. You were saying he's not a mainstream trainer.
No, he's not. He's
Yeah.
a lurker.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah.
But this horse, in my opinion, has always been overrated. But
Yeah,
we'll get conditions to do something here.
and J Mac has had the best success on it.
I found it on top.
Well, there you go. I think it'll be in the van in the bed.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
the horse that I think has the best last start is Marseille Roulette.
Yep.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's got a speed scenario that just looks a little bit difficult.
Red gloves.
Very glad to.
When a speed situation looks difficult, it becomes even more difficult, doesn't it? Great judge of face. Yep.
I gave him a good push last start, but now the blinkers off was the one that kind of threw me. I found it quite weird, and I didn't think he was perfectly suited, but give him a chance at the same time.
El Sasso is a very limited horse that is well set up here,
Yeah.
and that brings us to Bold Circle. It's been, from a yard that's usually unfashionable. I think they've marked this horse very short.
Yep.
But it's weird. So Bet365 put it up 20 to 1. I think Sportsbet put it up 5 to 1.
Well, it's going to cause pandemonium straight away.
I think
Because there is good respect for the Sportsbet assessors.
Yeah.
But the 20s went off before Sportsbet even came up.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe
So-
it was Sportsbet backing it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Could have been.
Yeah. Well,
I thought 20 seemed wrong in my opinion.
Look,
But-
look,
but satisfies.
it interested me, but then I went, hang on, this is 11 to 14,
yeah.
second up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was the other way round, be happy though.
So I opposed it, but obviously it is a fraught race.
Yeah.
We've got Forget It potentially at the end of his tether.
Yep.
We've got Spider Dakota first
First
up.
up.
We've got Marseille Roulette in an unsympathetic scenario. So the answer is one of those things.
Many miles your only hope. That's about, yeah.
Yeah, and other than that, a pineapple.
Yeah, that's right. I'm Spider Dakota too, and interested to see how Forget is. I mean, and obviously her horses are just flying at the moment. Her being
Who'd
Kim
have ever
Moore.
think it?
And Bishin
It's the
combined.
new paradigm.
Yes, there it is. New world. Spider Dakota.
Spider Dakota, and then I'm interested in bloody Himalaya Dream, Marseille Roulette, Bold Circle. And
Well, I'd like to see Himalaya.
Yeah,
I think this is a real.
late
What?
change.
I mean, obviously with Spider Dakota, but I think there's a lot of mounting yard merit in this to see what Himalaya Dream is doing if it's off its head again. Spider Dakota, obviously how forward it is because he is a big boy, and forget whether he's holding together. There's some serious mounting yard angles.
It's an interesting betting race in the middle of the program there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, perfect. Now remember, $20 gets you access to Pro Better Live. Try it out. And one of the products that gets it is J Mac, Johnny McLeod. Caught up with Johnny McLeod on Tuesday in Brisbane. So you can see Johnny McLeod, and he has let go one little secret which he didn't want to let go. And I said, we're not cutting it out. And you can see that in the piece about one of the ways that he talks about horses finding the line and what he looks for. And he said it, and he looked at me and said, I shouldn't have said that. I said, bad luck, you just did. He went, darn. So, check out John McLeod. You'll get a great insight into how he thinks, and he is so comforting as he set his. That's a fair call, Mark? Just the way that he talks, the way that he approaches things, he gives you comfort, and his set is very comfortable.
If you look at his sets as well, if you're losing early, there's winners coming late.
Yeah, that's right.
He just seems to just tick along.
Yeah, exactly.
And just knocks off those late winners.
Yeah, what was his little slogan at the end? Keep the gold for yourself, give them the rubbish.
I like that.
That's pretty good, isn't it? But anyway, John McLeod stuff for Brisbane, it's just flying. If you want to bet in Brisbane, yeah, you should be just following John McLeod. Just put it in, follow the staking plan, and collect the money at the end of the year. Easy. That's Johnny McLeod. Race 6, Pro Ride Warwick Stakes is at Randwick, and it's Group 2. First Seal is our short price favourite, around 7 to 4. The rest of them, Pornichet, Babiro, Messine, and it's somewhat around about the 8 or 9 to mark. Kermadec's the second pick. I should mention Raw Descent's part of that group. Kermadec the second pick at about 5 or 6 to 1. And the rest of them are there again. Mark, Zaratone, Messine. Simple as that. And
yeah, it's somewhat...
I heard Rick on the radio this morning say he wanted to be in front of Pornichet.
Yeah.
But he also said he didn't think it was as forward as what it was last time.
Right. Which is interesting, isn't it?
Okay.
I disagree.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Bigger later Ralphie here. Don't listen to trainers. He reminded us
Yeah, that's
of
right.
that the other day.
Yeah. Rick.
Yeah, the only thing, I keep on looking at that
Do you
Liverpool
reckon
City Cup.
just on trainers and just saying it, say there's a person who's a tipster and a journalist who has had a bet on a horse after having other few bets and whatever, and he's charged with bringing racing into disrepute. What about when trainers go on and maybe say their horse can't really go good when they've backed it and they back it, or they say that it goes...
That's never happened, though, Dale.
No, never. No, trainers have never put wrong information out about a horse, have they?
No.
Would that not be bringing racing into disrepute as well too? If we're going to be charging people with racing disrepute, we could have a big show dedicated to handing out disreputes.
Wow.
You can't comment because
Mind
you're licensed.
boggles, doesn't it? Mind boggles.
That
Anyway,
could be a segment next week,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Disrepute.
Just
Can I
get
give you a disrepute? Disrepute to you. All right. Sorry. Anyway,
All right.
go.
That's the most exciting race of the day.
It's somewhat.
So Zaratone, Messine doesn't get quite as scorched by the Zaratone situation tomorrow because he's had a run and also he gets the slipstream this time. So it's somewhat maybe without cover on speed. Pornichet would like to have his back, and what is the mare the next best? I mean, it's she's ostensibly an off pacer.
Which one are you talking about? First Seal or Royal Descent?
Well, First Seal.
First Seal. Yeah.
I'm tipping Royal Descent goes a little bit more forward than she has been in the past.
Yeah, well, Chris likes the low draws. He said that horse will be ridden more forward from the low draw. Anyway, look, it's Zaratone. You've got to love the presence of Zaratone.
Yeah, does it? Yeah, it'd be a mess if it wasn't there, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd be one of those great French races.
Yeah.
But Rain Affairs supplied the wherewithal from time to time. And it was the Warwick Stakes 2 years ago that Rain Affair got nashed, and we saw the rebirth of Streamer.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. One horse was never the same there. Well, both horses were never the same. One went to giant leaps, the other left its anatomy on the course.
So we have to start with the favourite.
Well, sorry, we'll start with the favourite. I think she's a false favourite. First Seal.
She's never beaten the boys. Some people, I don't know if you care about
she's
that
really,
but she's never beaten the boys. She's yet to have beaten
I know, but how many starts has she had against the boys?
2. She has done.
The Spring Champion Stakes.
When she was gone,
right?
2,000 metres wasn't right, and she ran her arse out.
And what's the other race?
When Sway Ness beat her, and they'll both
on heavy track at Rosehill.
Conviction. Yeah, but I just don't. I think she's just in. I don't think she should be favourite. That's all.
All right. So who are you voting for favourite? I didn't mark a favourite.
I'm voting for at the moment Kermadec because he's the lightly raced horse. He's on the up, but he could also be too big in the yard. But I could just see him exploding away with this.
I've got him clear. I've got it down to a 2-horse race.
Right. Him and who?
Kermadec and It's Somewhat.
Well, I want to see what It's Somewhat's like. I've got now the theory here is, and obviously contributor is the conflicting one of this, and it's the only one we've seen. These horses are now 2 times with Rick. That means they're further away from Aidan O'Brien.
Yeah.
And are they going to start Are they going to start getting clever with them and trying to be tricky with them? Rick's good when he just trains the horses 2 weeks. If he tries to be clever.
Talk to me about contributor then, which clearly was in his second preparation for Rick.
it's the only bit of evidence we've got which actually makes my argument incorrect. But in saying
You're saying that might be the exception to prove the rule.
could well be. But in saying that though, the caveat on it is these horses have got lengths on our horses at this thing, so they should be winning these races.
So how do you gauge it?
Well, when it's somewhat, if they stop winning these races, that's how you gauge it.
Are we
I
expecting?
reckon they look like they're going better than they were last time.
Well, yeah, I could be wrong then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but anyway.
But your point.
And but they're going to acclimatise too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, but it's just something I'm throwing up there.
It's an intriguing race, and we've got Pornichet resuming off a stellar
Yeah, absolutely.
back half of his preparation. I mean, I know he's very he turned up in the Liverpool City Cup and wasn't there.
No,
But
nice horse
he
with
could
plenty
turn
of
up in
grip.
this race. This is
He could. Yeah.
this is Pornichet with momentum.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he shows up, Gaze pulled the wool over my eyes at the trials again.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you think he's
And
been a bit big.
you know how much I love
Yeah.
the horse. I've been the biggest advocate for the horse.
Yeah.
I think he's still a little bit big, and I have a feeling, but I think she's rammed a lot of work into him to get him right for the Cox play.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a little bit dour at 1400.
Mhm. Yeah, perfect.
That's my opinion on him.
Okay, so Kermadec, the resumer that
Key to this horse. Big key. 1400 first up is the huge
Yeah.
key. I went through so many of his runs, and he was probably unlucky not to have another 2 or 3 wins next to his name.
Oh,
Yeah.
certainly. That,
Yeah.
that filly of Gaze should never have beaten him at Randwick, but
Oh, yeah,
that's
right.
not a feather in his cap.
No.
Muscovado beat Kermadec. Yep.
Yeah.
That's almost a
But I
Glen
just
story.
think he looks to have come back. Like, he always looked a late mature. He's bit wobbly, wasn't always sure what he was doing.
I think-
he really looks to have come back.
See him
into
gallop
it.
the other day just quickly and not really getting a great look at him. He still looked big, but he looked a lot trimmer than he did first up last time. Is that a fair comment? Is that how you'd see it?
Yeah, something.
And knowing that they can do a lot in a week.
All right, so why isn't he favourite then?
Because I think the market's wrong.
But who's in the first seal? Are we blinded to the merit of first
Oh,
seal?
look,
in this
my
race?
point about First Seal is that she can, in data language, she can run a number that's adequate to win the Warwick Stakes. She can't do any, these horses will go around her a lot, but we so often see.
She's hoping you'll be a step ahead of them, is she?
Yeah, she can pretty much run what she can first, second up, third up. She can do that, put it on the score, and that, whilst these horses will triple that number later in their preparation, that's a good mark for the Warwick Stakes. But I'm thinking I'm going there with the thought that these ones might just go better than that. So she's the mark to beat.
There's a bit of a feeling that Roll descends forward as well.
Yeah, but she's got to be more forward than she normally is because she's getting older now as a mare, so it's going to be harder for her to come good first up too.
Yeah. And what are we saying about the Berbero?
Burborough's dangerous late. Yeah.
Burborough's very dangerous.
When you have
Burborough's
him on the
airborne.
map, this could be my opinion.
He's going to be in the same spot he was the other day, albeit this is 1400. So it's. But I mean, he's
So you think he'll be back there?
Well, I guess he could be. You'd imagine he'd be in front of. He'll definitely be in front of Gust of Wind. And depending on how conservative Waller is with his widely drawn.
Yeah,
stays,
that's right. Yeah, I will. Yeah, they'll be whatever they do. They'll be just there. Yeah, I think Burborough's highly dangerous. He's putting together great late sprints and highly dangerous. But he's got Rory Hutchings on it, which
I think he just has to. Yeah.
Bjorn's a good mate, but I can't believe that the Rory Hutchings is on this horse, giving away
Well,
that.
It's
I don't care if he's one on it or
like
not.
us telling jockeys that they're going too slowly.
Yeah,
It's fait accompli. If someone wins on the freaking horse,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, well, he did a good job.
Except if you're Rob Waterhouse and you've got Tommy Berry who's won on a horse, and you say, well, I think if Jimmy Cassidy was on it, it's going to be a quarter of the odds shorter, so we go that way. There's a difference.
Yeah, but it doesn't always.
So you
happen,
won't find
though.
that
Yeah,
very. You won't
still.
find much of that around the place.
No.
Now, my only fear with him was I think he was better set up last start for Vero.
I think he's still well set up, but he hasn't got the right to take advantage of it.
Ribero's is one of those was that punches above his weight because of his durability and his consistency, and he's just in it for the fight.
Oh yeah, he's doing he's doing some good things. He's airborne.
Yeah, and he's the classic sort of champion weight for age performer of yesteryear. Before all this before these fancy pants turned up.
Yep. Yep. No, perfect. Anyway,
I'm just
well,
worried he's going to be too close to the pace. I think he has to
I'm
be
just worried he's going to be
midfield
poorly handled. Whether he's too close, too far back, runs into the wrong
he's
things.
pretty conservative.
Yeah, well, good on him.
No, I just hope
Good
he
on him.
rides him conservative.
Oh, look, you dealt with what you dealt with. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no good. It's no go.
Yeah,
it's
right,
okay.
right.
Saying it's okay to say, look, not enamoured of the rider,
No, exactly. But I still think at the
but
price.
he's got the rider.
Yeah, exactly. But I still think at the price he's worth a bit.
I've actually selected him on top, but I can't get him short.
I'm mainly, for the record,
12 to 1.
I'm mainly Kermadec, Burbero, and
Super.
very interested in him somewhat, depending on how it parades, obviously. They're my three.
What price is Burbero currently now?
About $9.
You are Mark?
Well, look, I've marked Kermadec favourite. I think he should be favourite. I like Burbero. I like Messine. I'm very,
Yeah, I could
you know,
come into this.
I'm wary of Pornichet, and obviously it's somewhat's got to fit in there. So,
I think actually, okay, just on first set we've bagged it. I think 6 to 4, 7 to 4 in this race, any horse is too short. So that's too much percentage in this race, surely, isn't it?
you know, is she coming into this race with? Is she a run ahead of them? No.
No.
Has she got racing style that will somehow offer her a big advantage? No. It's just
Has she got any great depth of form? No.
no. No.
It's not. Yeah.
You know, she's got
still
she's got
first
bits
up.
and pieces.
Yeah.
She's like the price is there on the spruik behind her.
Yeah.
She's got bits and pieces that can make her 4 to 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 to 1.
No, exactly. I think that's the point. Beautiful. All right.
I'm Kermadec. It's somewhat roll descent.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right. There it is. Fletch. What do you want to say about Fletch, Aaron?
Not too much. He's not well, God love him.
He's
But
he's trying a
but
little bit,
he just
isn't
battles every day to work.
he? Yeah, he does. It's just
And he
it's
turns
amazing,
out- and
amazing
he
story of
turns out-
courage.
What's his ailment?
It's amazing story of
He's
courage.
been- Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it really is how he's
God, who'd
there.
have ever thought that'd be the headline?
Yeah, just the courageous Steve Fletcher.
Right.
Instead of the colourful, it's the courageous. Anyway,
Just chipping away. And
I just
And
what was
the straight man?
yeah, what was it? 6 out of 7 last week for his $20 service
Really?
on the Saturday. Oh, he just
That's what I
flying.
mean. He's just chipping away.
Just chipping away in typical Fletch style, as if he's going to lose.
Funny, I
Jump on his services. The Saturday 90 or for the $2.99 Sydney and Melbourne for the race by race stuff, which is awesome. Or you can just get his straight line tips. A tip of a Friday, a few of a Wednesday, a few of a Saturday, and are just smashing the profit on turnover. Have been for what would have been doing it now for about 8 weeks. It's about 200% on profit on turnover over that time. That's all. Nothing too major. So jump on with Fletch, and if you jump on with either of those services, you get access to the Pro Better Live stuff, which Fletch actually looks at himself too. So there's another little endorsement for it as well. So there you go. Beautiful.
Beam me
The
up,
last
Scotty.
race on the card. Race 7.
So yeah, it is the last race on the card, isn't it? 2 to 1 Vashka, 5 to 2 Countryman, 4 or 5 to 1 Boss Lane. They're the top of the market. Mark.
Someone please tell me the case for Vashka.
The Vashka.
Yeah, the Vashka.
So-
It's from a yard that
Isn't being
so
first
we'll,
up.
We'll just go back a second. You said you've got Burbero on top here. Last time you met Burbero, he gave you the cold.
yeah, but that's a long time. That's ancient history.
No, it was only 2
So
starts ago.
it's the Burbero line that gets him to be 2 to 1.
Yeah, but what distance
Like
was it?
I
30.
gave this horse a chance in the Arbo Malachi race. The betting said no.
Mm.
James McDonald didn't participate. It bungled the start. It's got 5 bloody Rose Hill wins in a row.
Well, the thing was,
He's
there's
got.
obviously
He's got.
something
He's
wrong
got.
with the horse.
I have backed this horse first up at Gosford before, and he was less than fulsome.
I was one of the, I was also on him one day.
Today he was 6 to 4 against the local horse, the Ty England Road.
He did win 5 in a row though after
Yeah,
that.
at Rose Hill. Well, 1 at
Summer.
Warwick Farm and
Yeah.
4 at Rose Hill.
Yeah.
He didn't leap off the page at me.
Yeah, I need to see him first. It is Tommy Berry. It is
Why
Barrier 1.
is this
It
the first uppers race?
Yeah.
Right? You've got enough. You've got enough up and running
Yeah.
form, haven't you?
I think so. I think it's, yeah. Anyway, okay. So are you pro Vashka, Aaron?
I am. Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Trials have been out. Look, I think you go to that. He's had one bad run in his last 6 starts,
Yeah.
and he was spelled straight
Yeah,
after.
that's right. So there's something
obviously the horse wasn't right, and he's gone.
Fair
They
enough.
didn't-
Okay,
they didn't
that's
push
not
on.
a bad point.
So, and I always try and forgive a horse one run. So if I forgive him one run, well, I'll go. He was a lightly raced horse that was slowly putting it together the last start.
What do you say about the trials?
And he did beat Burbro. His trials are outstanding.
Okay.
Trials are good. Trials are very, very
Oh no,
good.
I've got him in the mix with 2 or 3 others.
The jockey scares me a little bit, but
especially Barrier 1.
yeah, barrier 1. But I think he does get a lovely run behind the leaders, and yeah, I think he's going well.
What we say, Countryman minus 200 metres, gave Waterhouse back up.
Well, the only thing you can say is that he returns to a scenario that he was very comfortable with at Rose Hill.
It's the bunny.
He gets the lure, right?
The thing that I don't mind about the backup with him is the fact that he hadn't made significant improvement fitness-wise up to his last run. So he still had wasn't as like he's at his top rock hard gay. It didn't really look like he hasn't really looked like a Gay Waterhouse horse all prep.
I thought he looked well.
Yeah.
A bit different on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought he
But
looked
then
well.
The trouble is you've still got
totally
Gay
disagree.
back in distance
Yeah.
and D Beasley.
That's right.
You know,
And
there's factors working
back in
against
distance
you.
on the backup.
Yeah.
But then again, I suppose on that he only had half a run anyway because of Monsieur Clark.
Yeah.
who-
Yeah. There's
who still doesn't think he went too
there's
slow.
pushes and pulls all over the place, isn't there? And I want to say that obviously to speak about how the race is likely to run, How Much Do You Love Me with Red Gloves on is a desperate leader. Decision Time gets a sit on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like Decision Time may be finished for all
Oh,
time.
I think, yeah.
But hang on, he's done something last week and like 3 weeks, 7 days.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Like,
okay.
You know, he's just there to do something. Decision Time.
The good track's always key to him, I think, now.
Well, he just could be past it. He could be past
Yeah,
it.
he's past it. That's the question.
And the other one I also want to talk about is Boss Lane, who
Well, I do.
you know,
I know.
He's a marvel.
It's just.
well,
I
it's
never
hard to
thought-
fault what he's done his last 2 starts.
It's exactly, and
I think we
I have
said...
him on top.
Oh, you right? Oh, wow.
Did you ever think I'd be saying that?
Well, we both opposed him last
Well,
start.
but
So if he
I
wins,
think
he's
that-
beating us, but guess what? I'm batting up again. He's beating me again.
Easy, yeah. No, well, I think he was unsuited over 1,000. I suppose the race shape fell more like a 1,200 metre race.
Because it fell over, dragged him into the race. He just
I know, but he's up running and he's still got improvement. He gets back to 1,200 metres. Ronnie Quinton's flying, and he gets into the right spot again.
Yeah.
And la-di-da.
Yeah, he's
He's a
well
good,
set up.
But and look, in defence of he's never been a horse I've gravitated to, but he's bloody consistent, and I think he's due for a personal best tomorrow. He normally runs up to his level, doesn't he? And his level should be good. The level that he normally runs up to will win that race 8 times out of 10. If he can run to that level.
I'm looking at 2 other horses as well. I'm mainly Vashka, but the other 2 are the 2 at the top. Heart Tester, races
So
well
you
fresh.
just please convince me why this is a first uppers race.
Why is it
Why should we be finding for horses first up?
Oh, I'm looking at the horses in a race. Wouldn't it be nice, wet tracker?
Oh, so you're ticks and crosses. And
I'm,
it's like,
thinking,
well,
I'm going, how much do you love
you've
me?
crossed all the fit horses out, and you go, well, obviously a first upper's got to win.
Well, not so much obviously. I actually think these horses are all better than the horses that are fit. I think Country...
Which is lucky, because otherwise we wouldn't have a race at all.
Yeah.
It's the tension between, better but not
Yeah,
primed.
not primed, exactly.
I think Stewie Davidson made the big point. Better can beat primed on good tracks.
On good tracks, yeah.
And we're back
It's
to
a
good
good
tracks.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's
I
one.
agree.
And that's the one thing where I used to get wrong a lot is on those wet tracks.
Yeah.
I'd be going for better, and prime
Yeah.
is just not giving me off, and I'm just
No.
unlucky, so I'm not there.
No, but then obviously prime comes down to it, yeah. All right, perfect.
That's true. That is true. The wet tracks find the holes, don't they? They actually put water in the holes and
Yeah.
start filling it up.
That's right.
And you can get away with
Expose.
stuff on dry tracks that you can't get away with on wet tracks.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's very
All
good
right, so
point. Thanks for
Aaron,
bringing that up, Aaron.
you are saying Vashka, AMN and Heart Tester, are you?
Yeah, they're the kind of the 3 that I'm leaning to.
Yeah. I'm probably
We're
Countryman,
not, and I'm not
Boss.
overly... Yeah.
Boss Lane, Countryman, Vashka are the ones I'm interested in. I've never been able to really get a handle on AMN, but I think he's better than I think.
Well, look, there were a couple of very good runs
God,
last
he's
time.
had some big runs.
Oh, I know, and I thought he was just a skunk, but
1400 first up would have really enthused me.
and on pace at 1200 first up doesn't.
The way he
suit me.
trialled, if he races the way he trialled, I actually don't mind it because they rode him with a bit
Did
more
they?
sit and he kind of went through the line and looked rather comfortable in doing it.
Anyway,
So we could see a different omen tomorrow.
Yeah, a little bit. I think he could just, like you said, 1-1, something like that.
all right, lovely. There we are, race 7. All right, just remember the $20 gets you Pro Bet Alive. Try it out, give yourself a go at it, see what you like. It's only going to cost you $20 for a product to find out, or more if you want to buy a more expensive one, but I'm sure you'll enjoy the experience. The final event of the day is over 2,000 metres, and Artabai's favourite at $4.60. Mark, yay. Trad Try leads.
Well, yeah, they look.
Probably,
Yeah.
Zayam.
Trad Try with Zayam, hopefully in his slipstream. I mean, that you don't want him like having to work outside Trad Try.
Yep.
So in the beyond thankful position.
Yep.
Other than that, Chasen may have to be ridden forward with the lightweight. Artabai,
Well, it'd be better to be a bit more forward than it was last time.
Artabai should hold a prominent position from the low draw, and perhaps Pretorius can be persuaded on the speed tomorrow on the quick backup.
All right, judging by body language and previous comments, Mark, the floor is yours.
Oh, I love this race.
Yeah, I know you would.
Like, Zayam is racing really well. Freaking Denny Beasley again. Bloody hell. It's just not fair. Artabai is, well, he's third up, and he had a break between runs, stepping up in distance the other day. I mean, he's ready to fire.
Ready to go now, yep.
And apart from that, I don't think it'll be $1 for Soviet Courage on a dry track back to 2,000 metres. I think it's it won't
And
be wanted.
with
Won't be
the
wanted.
time off too. Casino Dancer will be back. Your man will back it. He backs it every time.
Who does?
Robbie, doesn't he?
No, he's not in the Casino Dancer fan club. Dr. Nick is the Casino
Dr.
Dancer
Nick, he said, I thought Robbie was off.
God, he can find a funny horse, that man.
Well, isn't that great?
It is, isn't it?
Like there's the diversity of opinion is what drives this whole thing.
It is. He amazes me.
Yeah. So look, I basically I was interested in 7 and 8, and we can leave it at that.
Okay.
I was chasing and Artabai with just looking at it. They
No
one or two that jumped out at me.
No opinion whatsoever. All right, lovely. Okay, well that wraps us up. Beautiful. Good luck. Good day. Beautiful day. It's good feeling to be following horse racing at the moment with the lovely weather and good horses coming back and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully we can steer you into a winner, and hopefully you win, and hopefully you get all of our products and they keep winning for you. So good luck, best of luck. Thank you for joining.
Indeed.